live stream on Twitch, yes, but it's also a podcast, yes. And as we know, the podcasts are the new entertainment. They got kind of puttered around for the last 20 years, 18 years, whatever, kind of puttered around. Now we've reached a point where podcasts are fun. There's music in them now. There was never music in podcasts before. And there's more kind of like segments. There was never segments in podcasts before, but now there are. And there's more of a crossover between podcast, live stream, and YouTube than ever before. And I think that's what's unique about this digital media, new media. But we got a couple things on the agenda today. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go into the segment of the show that is basically going to be the meat of the show as time goes on. What I believe to be the meat of the show. I mean, I'm going to play video games because that's what you do on Twitch, but also I'm going to be talking to people in Bonbon's Slambook. And as you can see, this is Bonbon's Slambook. I'll get my microphone situated. The microphone situation is still a work in progress. Because I have stuff on my desk, and where exactly do I put the microphone? I don't want to get one of those stupid arms that come over. I think that's old-fashioned. I think that's radio bullshit. No one really enjoys radio. So, and I got to figure out how to get got some glare on my glasses. It makes you look stupid when you have glare on your glasses. Makes you look dopey. Like if I had a missing tooth, that's like the eye version of glare on glasses. I'm gonna move over here. I'm also gonna do this. Bitch. Don't know where to fucking put the mic. Don't know where to put the mic. Don't know where to put my body or my mic, because I'm in a little hole in Bonbon's Slambook. It's covering my whole friggin' face now. Jesus Christ. I'll just hold it. So I explained this before, and I'll just illustrate this real quick. You see, I've got these slam books, and they're from elementary school, and they're little books that we passed around to our classmates, and we wrote responses to questions in these books to tell the world about ourselves. And I'm going to be doing basically a digital version. I'm going to be doing a digital version, God bless you, of the Bonbon Slambook. This is analog, old school. 6th grade, 8th grade. Now this right here, 2025, Bonbon Slambook. What's your name? Well, my name is Dave Bonowitz. Where do you live? Now, when I have a guest on the show, it'll be more like this, because I'll be talking to them, you know? But for now, it's just going to be me. Where do I live? I live in Sierra Madre, California. It's in Los Angeles County. It's about 30 minutes to downtown LA. Not a bad drive. You know, it's doable. There's a train. I could, you know, just drive over to the train station and then take the train into Los Angeles proper. But I got a Del Taco here. I got Panda Express. I got a CVS. There's no reason for me to go to Los Angeles. Like, it's, you know, got everything I need basically right here. I got a taco place down the street. Why would I drive all the way to Los Angeles? I'm not going to do that. What's your generation? I'm a millennial. I don't know a lot about generations. It seems like now the big thing is you got to hate all the other generations except for the generation that you are. But I'm a millennial. Am I going to defend millennials against Gen Alpha and boomers? No, I'm not. But that's what I am. That's who I am. It shaped me. I'm one of those millennials that was around pre-internet and then had to adapt to this internet world. And guess what? It made me smart. Smarter than Gen Alpha. Gen Alpha, they barely know how to read. Gen Z, what are they doing? I don't know. Getting jobs, going to college. I don't know. I don't even know where the generations break. Don't even get me started on Generation X. Okay, that's my generation. What do you do? Now I'm thinking of this professionally. What I do. God damn, how am I still out of frame? What do I do professionally? I'm a video editor. I'm a video producer. I'm a podcast host. And I'm a father. This isn't professional. This is just what do I do in general. You know, these are all kind of conversation starters, basically. Well, what kind of videos do you do? I like messing around with my studio on Twitch. I like going to Micro Center. I like getting stuff at Micro Center and building out my video area. Oh, what kind of lens do you have on your camera? It's like an old Zeiss Flectagon 35 millimeter. It's vintage, you know. But I like having the vintage lens on the newer cameras. And that's what we'll talk about, just sort of like video stuff, the podcast. How long has your podcast been going? It's like, you know, less than a month, but it's going well. We have a loyal fan base. The viewers, some of the best viewers of any Twitch stream podcast in the world. I'm talking about Bone Amputee and Sun King and Nugmaster, among others. And your father? Yeah, my kid's Noah. He's sleeping right now, so I could do podcasts and stuff when he's sleeping. So you're getting the idea. Now, I'm talking to you now. I'm not talking to the Bon Slambook. I'm talking to the viewer. You're getting the idea what this is, what the Slambook does. It generates conversation. And as the show goes on, we'll go deeper and deeper. Hold on, I gotta fix my set deck. I think the kitchen light lends a little bit of like a warmth to the show, like an analog vintage warmth, like Roseanne. Like it makes it feel a little bit more like Roseanne. You know how they always had the kitchen light on. I think Bon Bon's Lair should always have the kitchen light on if it's nighttime. What kind of car do you drive? A 2008 Honda Fit. Why do they call it a Fit? Because when I'm parking, it fits in any spot that I need it to fit in. And I could fit a lot of things in the car. It has a big hatchback that, you know, I've fit all sorts of things in there. I've moved across town. I've moved cross country. When I moved cross country, I had a truck come, put a bunch of stuff in the Fit, like some plants and a guitar and some weird things. Then the truck took that all the way across the country. And so it was a little pod, more or less. But the trucking company is like people can't see it above the window. As long as it's below the window, you could put it in there. But don't let anyone see that you're putting stuff in there, because then they're going to want to break into the car and take the stuff that's in there. So then I had the plant, and then I had a little box over the plant. So the plant was in a box, not getting any chlorophyll. Is that what they call it? For plants? Do you want me to chat what songs Weird Al Yankovic plays? I don't know what that means. Yeah, do that. Do you want me to chat what song? Nugmaster, we'll see you next time. It's okay. Check it out on the YouTube page. Or, Twitch. I'll try to have it here. And I'll put a little social clip. Anyway. Yeah, chat what song Weird Al Yankovic plays. But the plants, when they came to the West Coast, I was like, oh, my plants are going to be dead. But guess what? The plants were not dead. And before I moved, I gave a lot of plants away. And I threw a couple away. Some I just I'm just going to throw it away. Terrible feeling to throw a plant away after you've been nurturing it for well over a year and you're just tossing it in the garbage. It fucking sucked, but that's what I did. Please do follow. You're going to his concert tonight? Oh wait, are you going to that thing at the Ace Hotel? I wanted to go to that thing at the Ace Hotel because that seems stacked. Rufus Wainwright is going to be performing at that thing at the Ace Hotel. What do they call it now? The United Theater or whatever? Is that the thing you're going to? Among others, lots of people. I chose a different event. I could only go to so many events. So we're actually going to a listening party for Hiroshi Yoshimura in Little Tokyo. That was our event that we chose for the month of March. Anyway, I love the fit. My plants didn't die. Wow, what's your cat's name? See ya, Nugmaster. When Rufus comes out, say, Dave loves you! 'Cause I love that guy. I went to see him at the Atlanta Symphony Hall. Yeah. Oh, Rufus, that makes sense. Many people are like, Dave, did you name your child after Noah Baumbach? And kind of. The thought popped into my head that we should name him Noah while I was watching a Noah Baumbach movie. So kind of, I didn't name my child after Noah Baumbach, but the thought did pop into my head the day after I had a party at my house. It was after the Little 5 Points Halloween parade, and there was like 40 people in my house, and I was like, we partied all night, and then I was like hungover the next day, and I just watched a bunch of Noah Baumbach films, and I was watching them. I'm like, oh, we should name this kid, who we didn't tell people about yet, but I'm like, we should name this kid Noah. And that's what we did. It's very easy to come up with a kid's name. You just don't think too much about it. What's your favorite food? Now, this one, you might be thinking this is a little bit of a basic bitch kind of question, but I like this because I like talking about food. I like thinking about food. I don't know what we're having for dinner yet tonight. For lunch, we had Santuka ramen at Mitsuya in Costa Mesa. And as you know, Santuka ramen is me and Andrew Cho's favorite place to go when we travel together. I haven't traveled with Andrew Cho in 5 years, but it was damn good. Damn good. But my favorite food, meat on bones. I love stuff like chicken wings or like our nanny. We had a nanny that would come to our house 3 days a week back in the early days of having a child. And I once told her my favorite food was meat on bones. And she would make this soup where it was a pork soup in a spicy broth with like carrots in it, big whole chunks of carrots and big chunks of potatoes, and then like pork back. And the pork would just be falling off the back and be like a spinal column. And I'd be like trying to pull the pork out of the little holes of the spine. Man, I loved that. I loved that. Leaving Atlanta, one of the saddest things was saying goodbye to our nanny, Miriam. She's a very sweet woman. I don't know why. It was true, like saying goodbye was heart-wrenching. A lot of our friends were just like, all right, see you later, we'll see you. But our nanny, I don't know, it felt like, she sort of raised Noah in a sense. But we parted. They still FaceTime. Usually I just say hello on the FaceTime. She was supposed to visit one of her kids was going to school here. Anyway, but also I love, this started fairly recently, probably in the last year. I love raw peppers, raw onions, and I've been eating a lot of raw peppers and a lot of raw onions, and it's come to a point where I crave the raw peppers and the raw onions, and all the time, I'm just like, I want them. I'm having something. I got to get my raw peppers. I got to go to the store to get my raw peppers. Sort of started at Ji-Young's parents' house where they would serve raw peppers with our meals. And I was like, and then we dip it in this sauce. And I'm like, I really like this. And then it just became a thing. I don't have many patterns that I pick up, patterns and habits that I pick up. I just have my patterns and habits that I've been doing for a long time. But this pepper pattern habit, how many pepper pattern habits can one pick up if you're not with the parents of your partner? But damn, raw peppers, you just chomp on them. These into the H-Mart Korean peppers. Some of them have spice, some of them don't have spice. They're good though. Is raw onion bad for your stomach? Listen, not in my case. I've had conversations about this. Some people are like, oh, raw onions causes inflammation for me, and raw onions give you bad breath or whatever people say. Listen, I don't think so. Like, I eat so many raw onions. Let me tell you, sometimes I go overboard. Sometimes I'll eat too many raw onions, and I'll wake up the next day and I'll say, God damn it, I overindulged with the raw onions. But it's not a stomach pain, or I don't know if you're saying, is raw onion bad for your stomach? Like someday I'll get stomach cancer? I don't know. We'll see. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. I'm not going to worry about that right now. I love the raw onions and I love the raw peppers. I love the way they make me feel. I think the stronger a flavor, like a pepper or an onion, probably the better it is for you. When compared to, carrots, they're probably good, but carrots don't have a super strong flavor. Tomatoes are very good for you. Tomatoes could have a strong flavor. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I said plural there. I'm not one single scientist. I think raw onions are medicine. I think food could be medicine. You're depressed. You need an antidepressant. In-N-Out cheeseburger, French fries, and a soda. That's food. That's medicine. Raw onions, raw peppers, medicine. Bitter gourd, Goya, particularly the Indian bitter gourd, which is very popular in Okinawa, hugely popular. I've grown to love that. It's very bitter, very strong flavor. Okinawans live very long lives, even though they're the biggest alcoholics on the planet. I don't know. I shouldn't say stuff like that. I don't know that for a fact. I watched like a Vice video that said that. Sorry. So I apologize to all the Okinawans out there. I love Orion beer. When I'm there, I'm constantly getting Orion beers. But they ate all that bitter gourd. They got their vices. They got their long lives. A long life to indulge in the vices. It fucking rocks, man. It's so cool. And the last thing is tacos, just because, love those tacos. Yeah, dude, you're going there. You should get some tonight. Max, rat cousin. Remember tacos outside the Ace Hotel? Are you there now? If you're there now, get some. They're very spicy. I had those, not recently, but, many years ago. They were very spicy. What's your favorite song right now, or singer, or songwriter? Part of my Slambook was talking about music and stuff, and I am relatively interested in what my friends are listening to. Some friends, aren't big music heads. Like if I asked Rat Cousin, what's your favorite song right now? He's going to say Earth, Wind, and Fire. Everybody knows that. My favorite song right now, Wise Up by Amy Mann. And probably about 2 years ago, I went on a huge Amy Mann kick. I'm going to burp, excuse me. I'm going to drink LaCroix, excuse me. went on a big Amy Mann kick. Am I in the middle here? It's going to be the hard thing, is just monitoring to making sure I'm in my little book frame. And do you like how it's torn? It's like a page is torn out of the book. And I hate the way my reflections are showing in my glass. I'm going to have to do something about that. But I went on a big Amy Mann Till Tuesday kick. And, you know, the Till Tuesday has those 3 albums that they put out. The first one with Voices Carry. Great song. The second one has Coming Home, I think it's called. What's that song called? Coming Home or something? On Our Way Home? Not On Our Way Home. Fuck. Who cares? It's a great song. It's like, just listen to the whole album. Third song has each song has a standout track, but the rest of the albums are great. Amy Mann, even though I kind of didn't get into Till Tuesday until later in my life, Amy Mann I was introduced to formally through the Magnolia soundtrack and the song Wise Up, and I read this on the Wikipedia page, written for the movie Jerry Maguire. Cameron Crowe was like, it's not right for the movie, Amy, I'm not going to include it. And then she's like, all right, fine, I'll give it to Paul. And Paul puts it in Magnolia as a centerpiece where all the characters, and spoiler alert, cover your ears if you've never seen Magnolia, but they, in the middle of a 3-hour melodrama, are singing along with this pop song, and hits you like a ton of bricks. Very good. The song itself is beautiful. Her voice is great. It's always great. I do like the version on the Magnolia soundtrack more than the version on Bachelor Number 2. There was definitely some re-recorded vocals. I think the instrumentation is a little bit different. I like them both. I'm not saying I don't like one more than the other. Mr. Hyrax, it's raining frogs. I don't know what that means. Oh, Magnolia. But one of these days is International Frog Day, or National Frog Day. Maybe, I don't know what that means. Sorry about that. I was in my own head thinking about National Frog Day. Mr. Hyrax. Anyway, the song, just great. The whole album's great. Amy Mann's great. We saw her at, she did a Christmas show at the Largo with Ted Leo, and beautiful voice, you know, she's, as we all are, she's getting a little older, and sometimes when people get older, their voices start to get frail or fall apart or whatever, and not her voice, strong as it's ever been. They open up the show with Simply Having a Wonderful Christmas Time. Oh my God, dude. And then, you know what I didn't like? Here's what I didn't like. When Paul McCartney performed, you know, Golden Slumbers and all that on the SNL, and people are like, his voice isn't as good. And he's like 80-some years old. That was frustrating. It's like, yeah, we're all falling apart. We're actively, every single one of us are actively decaying. Even the guy that's trying not to die, Brian Johnstone or whatever, he's falling apart. He's saying he's not, but he is. He has to be. We all are. He's not coming up with any scientific method. What is he doing? Like, I'm just eating lots of raw onions and raw peppers. What's your favorite movie or show? After Yang. Now, this is, you know, of course, all of these questions are sort of just right now. I'm not asking for definitive. I'm not asking anyone to say, oh, you know, Citizen Kane or, you know, whatever, Vertigo. I want to say, what's your favorite movie right now? What's a movie you want to talk about on Bon Bon Slambook? For me, I want to talk about After Yang. This is the second film by a director, and I believe this is kind of like his pen name, Kago Nada or something. Maybe it's misremembering his name. Let me look it up. Kogonada. I don't know. If you don't know, it stars Colin Farrell as a father who has an adopted Chinese daughter with his wife, and at some point in time in this distant future, presumably. I don't know what year it takes place, but in order to teach his adopted daughter Chinese, he purchases from the Android store, not like the Android app, he buys an Android, a real living Android, to care for his daughter, and sort of be like a nanny, kind of, and teach his adopted Chinese daughter Chinese, the language, and Chinese facts, things like that. Life goes on. Life is happening all around us. Life is happening to Colin Farrell and his family. The android, Yang, malfunctions. The android breaks. And the whole movie is about what Colin Farrell will go through to fix Yang and make his daughter happy again. And it's kind of a noir. It's like a neo-noir. And there's a journey, and he's he's learning things about Yang, the human that was Yang, that was adapted into this android. And he has the SD card from Yang, and he's going through the memory bank, because there's all these little videos stored in Yang's memory card, his SD card, and he watches them on these little glasses, and he sits there and goes through these memories, and he's just like experiencing a life maybe that he wasn't aware of all the time. It's a beautiful, beautiful film. I had a profound emotional experience watching it like 3 years ago, and I still just think about it all the time. It's my favorite movie or show. Also, another show I really like, Bon Bon's Lair. What book do you recommend? Well, a few weeks ago, maybe a few months ago. It was a few months ago. I'm going to say maybe November or December 2024. I went to the library and I found this book, Master of Change by Brad Stulberg. And it's sort of like a self-help book, but I'm like, I don't know, Master of Change. I feel like it grabbed me for whatever reason. I read the back cover. I'm like, I'm going to get this book. And it's all about how to deal with a world that is rapidly changing and you have no control, and you're confused and you're frustrated because everything is changing around you. And how do you exist, and not only exist, but thrive in an ever-changing world? And the book, I think what, for me, I think was cool is that it sort of laid out a framework that I kind of feel like I was living by, but it provided, it verbalized everything and allowed me to say, oh, cool, man. Yeah, I do want to have rugged flexibility in my life. And shortly after I read this book, of course, there was a bunch of wildfires that broke out in the city of Los Angeles. And I just kept thinking about back to this book and be like, I just have to move forward with rugged flexibility. Very good book. It's a quick read. There's a lot of little anecdotes about people who, there's this one anecdote about a mountain climber who was kidnapped while he was mountain climbing with his friends. And then he ended up killing the guy that kidnapped him. And how does that guy adapt with this change in his life? Now he's taken a man's life when he's just, some millennial mountain climber guy. Not even a mountain climber, probably almost an influencer or something. That's my recommendation. And you can see as this interview series goes on, someone will say, I'll be like, what book do you recommend? And they'll be like, well, I really like Super Fudge by Judy Blume. It's about this kid Peter and his little brother Fudge, his little brother Fudge, and Fudge is a real son of a gun. And I'll be like, yeah, I read that book. Yeah, it's very good. It's very funny. And then we'll have a good back and forth. Right now I'm just talking to you, to the camera, and my viewers. But as you can see, Bonbon's Lair will have a little back and forth. What's the weirdest shit that ever happened to you? This question, I feel like, could be kind of a fun, I'd be like, it could be anything. Imagine I'm talking to the guest right now. I'm like, you could talk about, time, have you seen a ghost? Or, did you ever, get into like a really bad car accident? Or did you ever, go crazy for a while? Like, what's the weirdest thing that ever happened to you? And they'll be like, I don't know what's weird. I'm just anything. Because again, I'm trying to go through my life. I'm like, what's the weirdest shit that ever happened to me? I don't know. But the thing that I kept popping into my head was this weird Halloween that I had in probably, I was probably like 10 years old. And we were trick-or-treating. And, in my town, small town, but we would go out for a while. We'd go out for like 2-3 hours. And we're going up all the hills, these hills. We'd go up the hills and hit all the houses and get a bunch of candy. And the bars would give out full-sized candy bars. And then we kept going up the hill. And then the last house on the hill, I lived in at one point. And I was with friends, and I had one of those full masks on, like a full latex mask, completely concealing my identity. But my friends were like, let's go to this house. And I'm like, where I used to live. Okay, whatever. And I'm like, but I don't know who lives there now, I don't think. Somehow, though, we ended up knocking on the door of the side basement door where my Uncle Junie lived. He was a recluse. And Uncle Junie lived in the side basement door, which I knew he lived there, but I was like, all right, let's just knock on this door. And still, I was just like wearing my mask, and I'm like, and I'm not telling my friends, I'm not like, I used to live here, or like my Uncle Junie lives here, he's a recluse or anything. I was like, I'm just going along with it. I was like, we'll get more candy, it'll be good. I don't know. So then Uncle Junie answers the door, and I'm just standing there with my mask. He doesn't know it's me. And then he I don't know if he was like, also, and let me also frame this too, that I don't know for a fact that this happened. I feel like I kind of dreamt this a little bit. It's just very strange. But Uncle Junie was just, he was like, all right, I don't really have anything to give you. And we're like, oh, it's okay. He's like, but, he wanted to talk about his brother. He's like, any of you guys know Chet or Jesky? His brother, who is my grandfather. And I'm like, why is it? And he just started talking about his brother to some random kids who knocked on his door. And then I was like, oh my God. And then I pulled off my mask, and then I'm like, he was my grandfather. And he was like, whoa, Dave, what are you doing here? And then I don't even know if it was emotional. Did we hug? I don't even know. I don't remember. But my recluse uncle just wanted to tell some random kids about his brother. And it happened to be that he was telling his brother's grandson. Weird. Very strange. Also, Uncle Junie said that I had the ability to view ghosts when I was a child. I could see ghosts. Like one day we were in the house, and I was like, hey, Junie, who's that? And he's like, who? And I'm like, that lady over there, who's that? And he's like, there's no lady over there. And then I was seeing a ghost. And then also Uncle Junie would feed me Reese's peanut butter cups. Like nothing but a bunch of Reese's peanut butter cups. And I called those June candies. Uncle Junie candies. Anyway, it was just weird. What haven't you got to yet? I have 3 books I have to write that I haven't gotten to. I planned on writing one in 2024. I started writing it, but I never finished it. And I have 2 others that I have to write. That's what I haven't gotten to yet. I'm not going to tell you guys too much about them. first one is called Napkins and Lemonade. The second one is called The Vortex. And the third one is called St. Clair Goes to the River. Anyway, just putting it out there again that I have to do this, because it's hard to get started writing things. Where's your happy place? Well, as you know, I don't know if you know this, but Jiyoung and I go to Okinawa sometimes. Her mom lives in Okinawa, and there's a place there, a little beach called Maeda Flats. And Maeda Flats is a little, it's like a lagoon. It's like the water comes in past the reef and where the waves are, and then it's very still. That's why they call it flats. It's very still and very quiet. And usually there's not a lot of people there. Sometimes there's like some Chinese tourists learning how to scuba dive. But it's a beautiful beach, and we've been going there now for years. And every time I go, it just feels like just like a real ecstatic joy that emanates from that place. And last time we were there, we were in the water, and I had a little GoPro video camera, and I was like videotaping some fish and stuff, and then out of nowhere, it was just like this big silver school of fish, like a huge school of anchovies or something, just starts swimming around us, and we were encircled 360 degrees by this thing of silvery, shiny fish. Like there was a wall of fish, and I'm like trying to get my GoPro to work, and the GoPro would not work in that moment. The GoPro worked after that moment. In that moment, I don't know why, GoPro would not work. I don't have it on video, but it's better because I have it on my memory, and then I have it that I could tell you about it. Crazy though. It was like kind of frightening, but afterwards, like I can't believe that happened. Just like this, it was in the middle of a mackerel cyclone. Beautiful beach. That's my happy place. Will you sing us a song? Sure, why not? I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know. May your days be white, and may all your Christmases be bright. Anyway, that was Bon Bon Slambook. It's an ongoing interview series, a subsidiary of Bon Bon's Lair. We'll be getting some guests on the show. I could write erotic stories. Drop a link for that, Osculp. I would love to read your literotica. I'll read it, and I'll, ruminate on it, I guess. It's probably the best way to explain what I'll do when I read your literotica. Next time on the show, if not Deja Vu, we're going to have a guest on Bon Bon's Lair. Also, we're going to have a world premiere of a new music video for a new song from a new musical project that I've been working on with my friend Thomas. The band is called Critter Den. We have a music video. It's uploaded on YouTube. We have a 2-song EP. It's going to be dropping on all the major streaming services. We're going to premiere it here on Bon Bon's Lair. Thank you for watching the show. Thank you for joining us. It's going to be fun. Hope you guys have a good night. Talk to you later. I really do. I think about you guys all the time. Not only when I'm streaming, just like all the time. You're the best.